Welcome to another session of Statistics and Probability. This is your teacher, John Glenn S. Almario. Today we will be discussing computing the point estimate of a population mean. For the lesson objectives, after going through this lesson, you are expected to understand the concept of estimation, distinguish between point estimate and interval estimate, and find the point estimates of population means and proportion. Now, for the definition of terms, we have the mean, also known as the average, computed from the table. Parameter, the numbers that describe characteristics of scores in the population. Examples are mean, variance, standard deviation. Statistic, the numbers that describe characteristics of scores in the sample. Examples are the sample mean, sample variance, sample standard deviation, correlation coefficient, and reliability coefficient. Estimation. It is the process of determining parameter values. Estimate. A value or range of values that approximate a parameter. Point estimate is a specific numerical value of a population parameter. The sample mean is the best point of estimate. Interval estimate is a range of values that may contain the parameter of a population. Now, how can we remember these definition of terms? We all know the mean, kinokomputa natin since lesson 1. Kinokomputa natin since lesson 1 yung mean, ito yung ating average noong ating data. Yung parameter naman, ito yung mga numbers or numerical data or output na nagde-describe sa isang buong population. Halimbawa, do sa mean, average ng buong population. Then its variance, then its standard deviation. Next, statistic. Hindi ito yung ating subject. Rather, it is the number that describe the characteristics of scores in the sample. So if you could recall our lesson 2 about z-scores, meron tayo doon, we compute the z-scores for the population and the sample. So this is one example of it, the statistic. It describes the characteristics of scores in the sample naman. So meron tayong sample mean, sample variance, at sample standard deviation. Take note, hindi ito yung diniscuss natin nung lesson 3, which is the what? Sampling. Ito ay nasa estimation na tayo. So, iba pa yung process nito. Okay? Next, estimation, the process of determining parameter values. So, when it comes to estimation, ito yung pagtansya. Kaya lang, we're gonna do this mathematically. Next, estimate. A value or range of values that approximate a parameter. So, yung estimate, ito yung output ng estimation. Point estimate naman is a specific numerical value of a population parameter. The sample mean is the best point of estimate. So again, sample mean, ito yung na-compute nating mean ng sample. At ito daw yung best point of estimate. Next, we have interval estimate. Is a range of values that may contain the parameter of a population. So, sa interval estimate, ito yung range ng values or layo ng mga values na pwedeng nandirito sa loob yung parameter ng isang population. Okay? Pwedeng nandirito yung mean sa range na to, pwedeng nandirito yung variance at standard deviation dun sa population. Okay? Next, we have three types of estimations. We have the unbiased, where the estimate is within the value of the mean. Negative bias estimate is below the value of the mean, and positive bias estimate is above the value of the mean. So ito yung sa madaling sabi, ito yung pagtatansya. Kung unbiased, ito yung ating estimate ay malapit sa mean. Kapag negative bias naman, ito ay sobrang layo or sobrang baba sa mean. Then kapag positive bias, ito ay sobrang taas dun sa mean. Okay? Good. Now, Here's an example. Mr. Di Maculangan's company sells bottled coconut juice. He claims that a bottle contains 500 ml of such juice. A consumer group wanted to know if his claim is true. They took 6 random samples of 10 such bottles and obtained the capacity in ml of each bottle. So, ito yung meron daw si Mr. De Maculangan na company na nagtitinda ng coconut juice. So, ang sabi, ayon dun sa label, of course, lahat ito ay 500 ml. So, syempre, meron namang mga grupo na gustong tingnan kung totoo yon. So, ang ginawa ng grupo, kumuha sila ng mga bote o mga samples nung coconut juice. So, grinupo nila yon. Meron silang, sa isang sample, merong 10 bote. At mineasure nila yon isa-isa, sinukat nila. Ito yung naging resulta. So, dinivide nila sa 6 na samples natin sa 10. Ito yung data. Now, assuming that the measurements were carefully obtained and that the only kind of error present is the sampling error, what is the point of estimate of the population mean? Compute the variance and the standard deviation. So, dito daw, paano daw natin, ang kailangan daw natin dito malaman ay yung population mean, variance, and standard deviation. So, paano ba natin kinocompute yung ganitong klaseng problem? So, let's compute the point of estimate. Paano ba yan kinocompute, sir? So, step 1, let's find the value of each sample mean. So, siguro maglabas na kayo ng calculator para malaman, sabayan nyo ako sa pagko-compute, okay? So, paano natin malalaman yung value ng sample mean? So, again, ito yung data. Ano yung kukumpitin natin? Ang kukumpitin nating average ay yung grupo na yan. So, for sample 1, ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung average nung 10 na yan. All we have to do is to add these numbers and divided by ilan? 10. Very good. Kasi 10 iyan. Okay? So, sige. Kunin natin average. Okay. So, ang nakuha natin ay 498. Eksakto. Next. For the second. Anong nakuha natin? Very good. 498.4. Next. For the third sample, the sample mean is 497.2. Next. Very good. 497.9. Next. Very good. 498.4. And the last one. Very good. 497.1. So, meron na tayong mga sample means. Ngayon, ano na ang susunod nating step? Ang next step, get the sum of all the sample means and divide it by the number of samples. So, therefore, para makuha ko yung sample mean or yung point of estimate, i-add ko yung mga nakuha ko kanina and then di-divide ko sa 6. So, most likely, parang inad ko lang lahat, tinotal ko lang lahat ng data sa table, then dinivide ko ng 60. Pero dito, by samples kasi tayo. Okay? So, sige. Anong sagot dito? Okay, good. Our sample mean is 497.83. And, take note, this is also our population mean. Ang sample mean equal sa population mean. Kuha ba? Okay, good. Next, let's try to compute the variance and the standard deviation. Ngayon, paano natin kukumputin yung variance and standard deviation? So again, step 1, let us create a table of values within the sample mean. So again, ito yung table na ginawa natin. This is what the results here, you got it from the computation earlier. Ito yung mga sample means. So, for sample 1, 498. Sample 2, 498.4. Sample 3, 497.2. Sample 4, 497.9. Sample 5 is 498.4. Then sample 6 is 497.1. Kuha? Okay, so yan yung nakuha natin kanina. So, anong next step, sir? Ngayong nakagawa na ako ng table. Subtract the point estimate from each of the sample mean. So, para pala tayong parang ginawa na natin tong process before dun sa ating lesson 1. So, sa pagkuha ng mean, sa pagkuha ng variance, kailangan gumawa tayo ng column. Ang column na yun, x minus x bar. Isusubtract daw natin yung mean mula dun sa individual samples. So, ano ba ang makukuha natin dito? Ang mean natin ay 497.83. So, let's try to compute. 498 minus 497.83 is good. 0.1667. So, para safe tayo, round off natin sa 4 decimal places. Okay? Good. The second one? Very good. 0.5667. Next? Negative 0.6333. Next? 0.0667. Careful tayo sa decimal. Next? Very good. 0.5667. How about the last one? Very good. That is negative 0.7333. Nakuha ba? Okay, good. Ngayon, nakompleto ko na yan. Ano ang susunod na step? Square the results obtained in step 2. So, etong mga nakuha ko rito, i-square ko lang. At isusulat ko yun doon sa column. Gagawa ko ng panibagong column. Label ko x minus x bar squared. Okay? So, good. Sige, square na natin to. Ano square niyan? Very good. 0.0278. Next. Very good. 0.3211. Next. 0.4011. Next. 0.0044. Next. 0.3211. Again, kamukha lang nung pangalawa. So, copy lang natin. Next. 0.5378. So, nasundan ba? Okay, good. Ngayon, ano na next step? Ang next step ay i-apply natin yung formula ng variance. Again, iba ito dun sa ginagamit natin before. Bakit? Kasi nandito na tayo sa pagkuha ng sample. Yung ginagamit natin nung lesson 1 ay yung population variance. Noong namang lesson 3, sa sampling, that is the sampling variance. Ito ay sample variance. At ang formula ng sample variance ay, ayan, S squared is equals to the summation of x minus x bar squared over n minus 1. So, ano napapansin nyo? Hindi na siya sigma. Kasi yung sigma ay sa population. Ito ay sa sample na. So, pag nakita nyo itong S, ibig sabihin, sample standard deviation. S squared is sample variance. Again, n minus 1. Saan natin kukunin yung n? Yung n na to ay number of samples. Hindi yung total population na. Again, ang n natin ay yung number of samples. Okay? Good. So, let us apply. Ayan. So, yung nakuha natin dito, sa column na to, i-add lang natin. Then, again, number of samples natin ay 6. So, 6 minus 1 yung nasa denominator. Okay? Ngayon, solve natin. Ang nakuha natin sagot ay very good. 0.3227. Yang 0.3227 na yan ang ating sample variance. Okay? Good. Paano naman yung standard deviation? To solve for the standard deviation, of course, square root lang natin yung sample variance. At ang square root ng 0.3227 ay very good. 0.5680. So, nakuha ba? Okay, good. Nasundan. Now, let's have a recap of what we have just learned. Estimation, again, The process of determining parameter values, estimate, value or range of values that approximate a parameter. Point estimate, it is also our sample mean. Interval estimate, a range of values that may contain the parameter of a population. So, ito yung steps, again, pag-compute ng point estimate at pag-compute ng variance at standard deviation. Kuha ba? Okay, good. Ngayon, practice natin yung ating skills.
Get ready for the next battle.
Okay. So, eto ngayon yung ating pagpapracticean. Find the point estimate, variance, and standard deviation of the following sets of data. Round off your answers to 4 decimal places. So, meron tayong 4 na sample na may tiglilimang elements kada sample. So, again, ang unahin natin ay yung point estimate, variance, at standard deviation. Point estimate muna. Then, variance at standard deviation. Okay? Pause nyo muna yung video. Then, after that, check natin kung tama yung sagot niyo. Okay? I trust you guys. Good luck.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay. So, check na natin kung tama yung sinagutan natin. Okay. So, anong uli ang uunahin natin dito? Unahin natin kumpitin yung sample. Yung sample mean. Okay, very good. So, paano natin kukumpitin yun? Again, kumpitin ko yung individual sample means. So, sa una, 33.8. Pangalawa, etong sample 2, 40.6. Pangatlo ay 33.6. Ang pang-apat ay 40.4. Kuha? Okay, good. Next, para makuha ko yung mean, i-add ko lang to. Then, di-divide ko sa, very good, sa 4. At ang nakuha ko ay 37.1. Parehas ba? Okay, good. Next, paano natin kukumpitin yung variance? So, again, unang step. Ayan. Isusubtract natin yung nakuha natin dito sa 37.1. Isusubtract natin 37.1 mula sa nakuha natin. Okay? So, ito minus ito is negative 3.3. 40.6 minus 37.1 is 3.5. 33.6 minus 37.1 is negative 3.5. 40.4 minus 37.1 is 3.3. Next, i-square lang natin yung nakuha natin dito. Ayan. So, pag i-square natin yan, ito lalabas. Okay, good. Next, once na meron na tayo nito, ano na susunod na gagawin? Very good. I-add na lang natin ito, then i-divide sa n-1. Ano ba ang n natin? Ang n natin ay 4. So, 4 minus 1 is 3. Ayan. So, apply natin yung formula. Ayan. So, etong nasa numerator, in-add lang natin to. Then, isubtract natin yung 1 sa number of samples. So, ang makukuha nating sample variance ay 15.4267. Yan yung ating sample variance. Paano naman yung standard deviation, sir? So, para sa standard deviation, is kukunin lang natin yung square root ng variance natin, which is equal to 3.9279. Yan ang tamang sagot. So, nakuha niyo ba? Okay, very good. Ang galing talaga. Thanks for watching my video lesson. Again, this is John Dennis Calmario saying remember, trust the process. Bye guys. See you soon.